And if we ask the stars what they mean, what would they say back to us? Welcome! You want to go on a card journey today? Give me some of your time, and I'll give you some of your story. Well, let's see what the cards say.
Hey there, Capricorn. Welcome to Koi Plays Tarot. My name is Koi, and I'm going to be your tarot card reader for today. As a set of quick announcements, please be sure to like, comment, subscribe, and hit the notification button. That way when uploads are made, you can see what the stars are trying to say to you. Also, if interested, individual reads are back up and open. Either message or email me directly. Link is on me, and we'll set it up, okay? So, Cap, what we're looking at in this round of reads, this is going to be your one-on-one read for the month of September. One-on-one is a style of reading that I do with one person over here and the other person over here, and we see about what's going on in between. That's it. Most simplified version of it anyways. Two major caveats to this style of reading. First, although they tend to earn the moniker of being love reads because of, the level of involvement when examining the dynamic, I don't tend to take up that name because they're not always lovely, right? We talk about everything at my table, not just the fuzzy and warm feelings. So that's the first. The second, it ain't always gotta be about love. Promise you. It could be your friend, family member, coworker, someone you just met. Just what is the most prevalent relationship dynamic coming up, and why is that so? Here and now. So, Cap, as a preamble to your read, take what resonates, leave what doesn't, but don't always be so willing to reverse. At times, it gets difficult. Understand that I, as your tarot card reader, I'm not here to misguide you or mislead you. Trust me, I have 12 signs to work with and not a time to lie to any of them. Instead, we lay all the cards out on the table. In good or bad, rain or sunshine, we talk about it because at the end of the day, tarot is a conversation, just an energetic one. So follow along with me in your read today, Capricorn, your one-to-one read, and yeah, let's see what the cards say. You're going to be over here, person's going to be over here. Show us the cards that we need to see, please, for Capricorn in this read. What are the cards we need to see, please, for Capricorn in this one-to-one read today? I like this for you, King of Cups. Okay. Learning to approach something with the most emotionally and just and fair manner. And also realizing while you do have limitations, that doesn't stop you from having a wealth or a depth of water of emotionality to pull from, right? It's just about how you execute it properly. On their end, the Two of Wands, intention. Is this a mutual goal between us? Or what do we actually feel? So I'm getting the notion that someone proposed an idea that you kind of have to have a high level of involvement in, and just seeing, are you on board, or trying to figure out the proper phrasing, Capricorn. Are you on board, or would it be easier for me to look elsewhere, right? And so in realizing how much, they would be kind of dependent on you to make this work, your question then becomes, okay, well, I don't want to let them down, but it's not coming from a space of letting them down. It's because they trust me. So how much can I give realistically and be honest and upfront about it? Okay, makes sense. Now that we have two different parties on the board, let's talk about fronts and backs. Fronts and backs in this read, backs being what is kind of left in the unsaid and the unknown, and the front was being most directly communicated between both parties. So those cards we need to see, please, between Capricorn and their person in this read. Fronts and backs. Okay, starting with your review. Okay. I understand. 9 of Pentacles. Okay, before I say what I need to say, King of Swords. Okay, well, when you make your decision, don't waver, but know what space it is coming from. I know what you say can come out as harsh, but do frame it in the manner of being good and intentional. Because I do think you want to work with them on this, whatever this is for you, Cap, but you also very, like, you're trying to set a boundary about autonomy and saying, I need to be able to be me and have my own thing. Okay, on their end, Nine of Cups, okay, a form of self fulfillment defined by the Nine of Cups. I mean, at first I thought it was a lot more complicated, but I guess it's not. So you're a bit nervous about becoming more emotionally involved or in depth with another party. One moment, please. Forgot the AC was on. Tarot card readers are people too. Where was I? Yeah, you're a bit afraid of becoming more emotionally involved with another party because you see it as a constraint. Not that your feelings are not valid for them, but you're kind of afraid of diving deeper into this relationship or this dynamic with them, right? They're trying to propose the best of themselves. This is what I want, and I want you to be a part of that. But you're also saying, okay, these aren't unfounded feelings. I understand where you're coming from. However, I still want my space. What does that look like for me? I think with where you're standing right now, Capricorn, there's two major questions you got to go through. First, do you really want to be with this person? Right? Let's get past all the fluff. You're not really a sign known for that. Do you really want to be with this person? If so, tangibly, what does that look like? Because I think it's not that you two don't have feelings for each other, it's that you two may have different love languages, right? The way that they envision a relationship is not the way that you envision it, but you also don't want a relationship with somebody else who is not them. So what does that mean? What does that look like? Right? I really want you to sit with these questions, even if they are uncomfortable, because again, I haven't seen hostility, at least so far in this read. In fact, I've seen very much collaboration. The only thing that really stood out to me was that Nine of Pentacles, because that represents autonomy through freedom, right? So, what does that mean for you? I think you're afraid of getting so absorbed into the us of it all that you automatically think that these are like binding chains. And they shouldn't feel like that. So I want you to really dig deep into what that means for you, okay? Define individual positions between Capricorn and this person. Show us cards that we need to see, please. Between Capricorn and their person in this reading. Where does each person stand and why? Okay. My choice, Emperor. You got some decisions to make. It's all going to come down to what you say yes to. On their end, the Ace of Wands, they would be happy to have whatever bond it is with you. Do you want it with them? Sometimes it is that simple. Underneath it all, Five of Wands. Now, what was originally good intent may become conflict. Okay? In the understanding of such, I guess my question as your reader, again, skip past the fluff. Skip past all the questions that take too long to answer. Do you still want to be with this person? Because I think we're overcomplicating something that could be very simple. They're trying to keep it simple. It could all be so simple. And on your end, you're saying, yes, but what is the but about? Do you want this with them? Yes or no? Okay. Now that we have two parties on the board, both looking at each other one-to-one, let's ask what's going on down the middle. Show us the cards that we need to see, please, for Capricorn in this read. What is shared between both parties, them and their person. Okay, you one waiting on your answer, and also you waiting on yourself, Capricorn. Eight of Swords, a feeling of powerlessness. It's not that you're powerless. I'm going to clear that out for you right now, Cap, because they feel powerless because you're not making a decision, and you're feeling powerless for having to make a decision. No, it's just that the obvious answer is the one that's right in front of your face. I'm going to reiterate this to you and not try to sign bash. Please understand, I'm coming at it from a space of, guidance and respect. Do you truly want this with this person? Because we can come up with X number of reasons and still not going to touch or even remotely grace the core, right? I'm asking you very bluntly and clearly, do you want this with this person? Check yes or check no. Okay. Down the middle, Chariot. Card of Cancer, being down for the journey and all it entails, full speed ahead, all gas, no brakes. Knight of Wands, what does freedom look like? What does it mean to go along with action, not just theorize it? Okay? And Three of Pentacles, a workable dynamic between you and them, basically the building blocks of all relationships, romantic or otherwise, starts with friendship. Do you think that this can be built with? Underneath it all, Wheel of Fortune. It may have this too change with time. Okay. First, we had a conflict being unearthed with that Five of Wands. Next, we have the Wheel of Fortune coming out. What does that mean for you? What does it mean to trust the process over time to garner something even better? Or do you believe that your better is found elsewhere? Check yes, check no. Let me just put that as the title. That's simple. And we just run with it, right? These aren't necessarily bad things, but they are truths. I don't think that this person, sees any ulterior motive in them. I don't think you see any ulterior motive in them. But sometimes the easiest answers, or sometimes the easiest questions, are the hardest ones to say out loud. They're asking if they're doing too much. You know that they're doing exactly what they must. They're asking, is this okay with you? You're saying, yes, but it's something else. Okay, so what is that something else? When we get rid of the surface level questions that dip, duck, and dodge around what we're trying to say, what do we have left to say? And that's why I really want you to interrogate right now, Capricorn. Last, as we move towards resolution, define the major arcana showing across the table for Capricorn in this read. We will first look at the Emperor, card of Aries. Of their choice, why do they choose? Show me the cards let me see, please, for Capricorn in their read. Nice, but they didn't hit the table, so I can't take, but good on you. We start with the Emperor and push forward. So the Emperor, King of Wands. Okay, 3 kings coming out. The only one you didn't have was the King of Pentacles. Yeah, King of Pentacles. Yeah, it all comes down to your choice. So will we pretend we don't know where we stand, or will we actually say what we mean and mean what we say? Okay, it is all your choice right now, Capricorn. And I know it seems to go at the surface, but you peel back even a few layers of this onion, and you start to realize it's not difficult. It just, if I don't want this with them, would that break their heart? Would it be uncomfortable, etc.? Doesn't change your truth. And right now, if you're on the fence, you need to ask yourself why you're on the fence. That's it. Sometimes it is that simple. Next to the Devil, card of Capricorn, Two of Swords, confusion. See, the thing, I don't like that being behind your power card, Cap. It brings duality into the mix. Duality here suggesting that Okay, this person's saying, Capricorn, you're confused. I gave you everything that you asked for. Do you want this with me? Right? Just that directed towards you in the most explicitly clear way possible. On your end, back to them, you're saying, well, I'm kind of confused. Just give me some time to think over it. I think claiming confusion here is just moving the goalpost. It is, because it's not getting you any different from where you were originally, right? In fact, it's kind of a call out to say, no, you're not confused. You're just delaying. And what are we delaying for? Because we're not having the hard conversation within ourselves. Do we want to stay or do we want to go? Okay. To the Chariot, King of Cups. Now popping back out again. Okay. What do you really feel? Past the BS, past the insecurities. What does Capricorn truly want? And maybe that's the best space to move from. In resolution, Death, towards Scorpio. Either of the relationship or of the problem within itself, transformation can only happen when a cycle can close. Nine of Pentacles, what we invest into. Again, it is our choice. And it'll take a long time to grow and happen from it. But will we stay or will we go? Check yes, check no. Wheel of Fortune popping out yet again. Is that the... No, that's the second one. Yeah, second. But the Wheel of Fortune, granted you have two Wheels of Fortune and you're underneath for this one, Cap. I'm going to say it could go right in either direction, but it all depends on your choice. If you really want this with them, then you really have to let them know with no hesitation. If you ultimately don't want this with them, understand that's just how things ended up. But you also got to be honest with them, at least in the manner of what you believe you owe to them or what you need to say, right? Because they are waiting on your answer. And the more the delay comes in, the less freedom you'll have from it. So will you stay or will you go? For you both, check yes, check no. That's why I got in your read today, Capricorn. I hope this conversation helped. And yeah, I think there's some heart to hearts that's going to be had on the horizon. But whatever is said, I want you to be fully comfortable with it, because this person, they're being vulnerable and honest with you. Just make sure that you show it in return. I'll see you around, okay? Take care.